Welcome to my Cream Shakti channel where we help you heal yourself. Today I'm going to talk to you about travel tips. The reason we like to talk about travel tips is that traveling in itself is very vata vitiating. You might notice that after traveling you feel more tired, you feel dry, and your stomach isn't really quite right. And that is due to the qualities of vata. The actual act of flying, as well as the movement of getting ready for a trip, is very mobile, and it also is very cold on the airplane and very dry. Also qualities of vata, and becomes rough in nature, another quality of vata. So you can understand why we are going to talk about vata a lot in this video, because we're trying to help vata be happy. So the first tip I have, oh my gosh, surprise, is ginger tea. I know I've talked about ginger before, and it is just such a miracle herb. It does wonders on so many levels. You can actually check out the full video on my YouTube about ginger and learn about all its benefits. But here in this video, I want to talk about how ginger tea will keep your digestive fire up and strong, okay? Because when you're flying, the vata comes in and it's very airy and it's like a wind. And our stomach fire gets that wind and it kind of goes down. So getting that ginger tea in is really helpful. You can bring a couple of slices of ginger with you or a ginger tea bag and ask for some hot water at the airport and sip while you're waiting to board your plane. Another great thing to bring with you is nutmeg. Nutmeg is great because it can help you regulate your sleep when you get to the other side. Sometimes we are changing really big time zones, sometimes little time zones, but sometimes it doesn't matter. It's just our sleep is off from the vata being vitiated. So you want to take some nutmeg with you, take a moderate pinch size, and you can put it in a warm glass of milk before you go to bed. You can use a non-dairy milk if you'd like. I suggest using coconut and almond because they have higher fat content. Nutmeg will not only help you sleep, but it helps support your mind. One of the more important tips is to remember to have warm water. Leave that ice at home, guys. And even when you go to the airport, any refrigerated drinks, let them come to room temperature before you drink them. It's a great time to have tea, keep those warm liquids going. The reason you don't want cold things like ice and refrigerated drinks is that vata is cold in nature. So when you have something more cold, it's going to aggravate it even more. It can cause things like having cramping and bloating. Next tip is abhyanga. I mentioned it before in one of my videos, and I'm going to just explain a little bit what abhyanga means. Abhyanga means self-massage. So in Ayurveda, what you do is you actually warm the oil up in the double boil method so that you're not actually altering the composition of the oil. I suggest for this to use sesame oil, not toasted sesame oil, just plain sesame oil. And you're gonna warm that up and you're gonna start from your trunk going outwards, and you're gonna use long strokes until each joint. And you're gonna do it at least 3 times in a very slow, calming method. Because remember, we're trying to help vata. So you're gonna do that, and you wanna leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes, let it get into all your tissues and organs, and then you're gonna wash off. It's a great thing to do before you go on your trip. So just make a little time, make a little self-care routine before you get on that plane, and it really helps that vata feel nourished. Another great tip is to deal with your nostrils. And when I say that, there's a couple ways that you can go about that. The base can get very dry from the dry air in the airplane. So the Western way of dealing with that is the neti pot. It gets in there, keeps it moist, gets a nice rinse in. The Ayurvedic way is simple, easy home remedy is to use a little bit of ghee. You put it on your pinky finger, just put it around in your nostrils, and it'll help keep it moist and actually act as a barrier against any bacteria or things that are in the air. There are oils that are called nasya that have Ayurvedic formulations. I do not suggest using those without the guidance of a practitioner or Ayurvedic doctor to just make sure that you're having the right one for you. Another great tip, if you have the time and space to do this, is to have grounding days on the ends of your trip. So you're basically bookending your trip with grounding days. The day before you go, you do things like abhyanga and you get yourself ready for your trip, and you spend that time really maintaining your routine and being on top of your meals. Then when you come back from your trip, you also do the same thing. Take a day, get grounding, do abhyanga, and get into your routine. And one more tip with the food is that try not to have any popcorn or crackers or crunchy, crispy snacks. They're actually very drying in nature, and since vata is already dry, you're gonna get drier. So all the things that they like to give you for free, try not to eat them. Bring your own snacks, some fresh fruit, some really light, easily digestible food. Like khichdi is always great, and you can always get soups and things of that nature at the airport. Another tool to have in your tool basket is castor oil. You can take 1 teaspoon of castor oil in some warm water at nighttime on your first night to help keep you regular so you don't have that constipation and uncomfortable belly feeling that nobody likes. Everyone likes being regular, which brings me to the next tip, which is keeping on your regular routine. Waking up at the same time and trying to go to bed around the same time is really going to help pacify your nervous system and make Vata very happy. Keep in your morning rituals and keep doing when you eat your meals at the same time as well. The last tip that I want to talk about is just slow down and enjoy yourself. I know some of you guys travel for work, and so it's not always super exciting, but you're on a trip. Enjoy yourself, slow down, take a deep breath, and enjoy what you're doing. I hope you guys learned some tips today, and I hope you enjoy yourself when you travel. Take care now.